Hello, and welcome to FeyFinders, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast navigating listeners into the vague and supernatural. My name is Ashley Elizabeth, and I will be your Dungeon Master for FeyFinders Season 3 Campaign Cosmos.
And I, Kai, will be your Dungeon Master for Season 3 Campaign Amnesia.
Ooh. There's two.
Ooh, indeed. Yeah, there's two of us now. Deal with it.
Do you want to explain what we're doing?
Yeah, so in this season, we have decided to do two little mini campaigns. Basically, I will be running a short little campaign based on the idea that nobody knows who they are and what they're doing.
And I am running a space adventure, and we'll get into more details at the end because we want to save the juicy bits for the end. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to talk about like season 3 as a whole, and kind of let you guys know a bit about it, give you a little bit of behind the scenes taste. Just because we like barely talked about it at the end of Island. It was really just like, oh yeah, by the way, there's season 3.
Indeed.
Yeah, but before we get into it, I want to do a big ol' thank you to our biggest fan, Louise. They've been going 2 seasons strong. Absolutely adore you, Louise. Oh my gosh, every time I see the comment, I'm like, oh my god, it's her, or them, it's them. I can't assume pronouns, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh my god. But we love every single comment you give us, so thank you.
Agreed. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we're just kind of go through kind of like the process of creating all this. So when we started, I was like, okay, Ashley wants a break. Ashley needs a break. So I was like, okay, I got to find new DMs and I got to make sure they can DM. Not that I don't trust that like the people can DM, but there's also like the pacing and like I've learned a lot about the difference between podcast and table play over the last 2 years. So I wanted to make sure that like I'm not throwing someone in there and watching them die.
Well, plus too, we also want to make sure we're not wasting time as well, being like creating something that's not going to be translatable into a podcast, right? So
yes, absolutely. So I asked people if they wanted to audition to be a DM, come up with a one shot so I can kind of see their play style and kind of watch from there. So Kai, do you want to talk about what that was like for you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the very first little bit of it was nerve-wracking. It had been a little bit of a while since I had actually DM'd, and it had been my first time DMing over a recording platform. So it took me a little bit to kind of find a rhythm and kind of get into it, but basically I kind of took my players through a small little tidbit of my world in order to see if they could fit, as well as if it was something that I was going to be able to commit to, as well as keep everybody interested in. But basically it was just a little one shot, and it was fun. We got some people playing, we got some lore going, and it's definitely not anything that you're going to find out during season 3, but it was still an interesting little thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun because I stepped into play during that audition.
You did, actually. I remember that now.
With my most cursed character is, but no, like it was a good time. I will agree. I did notice you were nervous at first.
Yeah.
No, but I really enjoyed it, and that's why I was like, okay, Kaizen.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, because I'm having a lot of fun.
It sounds like it. I love reading the chat. Afterwards, we'll get into that in a bit, but it's very enjoyable. But yeah, and then like we needed to create our stories for these before, we auditioned and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about Amnesia and how long this has been.
Oh gosh, I got the idea to do Amnesia, I think in like 2018. Like definitely before COVID. And so I'd been kind of toying with the idea of basically like my characters, or my players, I should say, waking up not knowing who their characters were. So I created their character sheets, their backstories, their stats, their classes, everything. And they have to figure it out as they go because they've basically woken up and don't remember anything. So it's been in the making for quite a while. Not only did I have to create how the story would flow of them learning who they are and what they're trying to do within the world, but also I had to create the world itself. So yeah, so it's been a process. A lot of trial and error, but I think it's actually come together quite nicely, and the flow of it works quite well from the feedback that I've gotten from the players so far. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I literally remember, I think it was February 2020,
Yeah.
sitting in Starbucks with you, talking about your campaign, and, like, the whole idea of it, and, like, what you wanted to do with it. So when you told me you wanted to do Amnesia, I was like, oh, great. I know where this is going. Fantastic.
Yeah. But even then, you still didn't have all the fine details and everything.
No.
So even you are gonna have some learning.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm very excited for it. Just because it's been so long. Like, it's literally... I think it's literally been since we started doing FeyFinders in general that I've known about this concept. So I'm very excited to have it here. Yeah, I think I was literally talking about FeyFinders with you. I think we were swapping our... Yeah. So... So yeah, it's... I'm very excited to have it. My story is basically my untold stories. So it's kind of paying homage to all the little stories I've written in my life, or some of them. There's a lot. I can't say all of them. But kind of just pulling them all together. I'm very excited to share about a lot of the things that were supposed to happen in Voyage and then never came up. So I'm very excited to have that and talk about it. But you're traveling, you're going to different worlds. It's a space fantasy adventure. So you guys are traveling to a lot of different worlds, and each world is like a different, like, based on a different story that I've written. So, like, the first place that you guys go into is one of my newer ones, and it's very much inspired by the city of Propast from the video game Dreamfall: The Longest Journey. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, throwing my own interests in there, as you're aware, like, you don't possibly know what that is when you reach your first location. But then
Definitely not, nah.
The second world was returning to something we've been to before in FeyFinders, just a different area of it. Third world, again, returning back to a story I absolutely adore. Always gonna be in my heart. I love it. You guys haven't gotten to this world yet, but you will, and you're, Kai, gonna have this knowledge of it. The fourth world is inspired by Ashley's very first story that she ever wrote, and is still documented from my iPod when I was in grade 7. And Ashley only wrote fanfics at the time. Boy. Just remember, Ashley watched a lot of anime in grade 7. And this is based off of her AU and OCs that she made with her friends. It's going to be very apparent. You're going to know exactly what it is when we get there. But yeah, and then kind of the wrap up of the story at the end is kind of the plan with it. But yeah, it's a lot of traveling, kind of similar to Voyage. But just kind of visiting all these worlds that I had created. Some of them are actually like worlds that were like up for the possibility of being used in Voyage, so I'm very glad to use them now. But yeah, it's just like that. It's an homage to sort of all the things I've done throughout my life. But yeah, so the auditions went really well. I took everyone from my audition group. I was like, this is great. You're mine. You're my children now. I loved our one shot, the Cosmos one shot. It was like unbridled chaos with Hawaiian shirts, and I loved it. Yeah, that was great. I have no complaints. I just had a great time.
It was certainly something, that's for sure.
Talk about your audition. I loved your audition. Honestly, I still think about some of the things that happened during that audition just by the players that you have, if you want to talk about it.
Oh, so I love my players because I find that they are very well balanced between chaos and like actually progressing the story. But yeah, some of the stuff that happened during the audition was just wow.
It was so good. Like,
it was, I think there was a lot of good dynamics between the characters, as well as like a lot of good interest in what was going on too. So it was really nice to see how well everybody kind of worked together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely, if I were to compare the Cosmo audition to Amnesia, it's like unbridled feral chaos and like actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like you guys were like, or like your players were like actually like being like super serious and like taking it very like, what's the word? Like, not to say that they weren't like doing fun things, because they were, but it was like, yeah, we have a task to do and we have to do it, which you don't always get as a DM. So I was like, watching in amazement. I was like, they're so coordinated.
Little bit less so in the actual campaign, but it still works out very well. I think everybody was taking that audition very seriously.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I love it. I loved the audition. We have some returning players, which is really, really awesome. We have...
we do.
I gotta remember. Let me quickly pull up.
Well, we've got Sam and
Amancio. Max is coming back. I think that's all the returning players.
Yes, because Caitlin and Jupiter are new to mine.
Ren is new to mine. And Ollie is new to mine. How can you forget Ollie?
Yes, well, Ollie is a very, very special character.
I love them so much. I'm really glad I convinced them to do this.
Same. They're fantastic. I still cannot get over how I figured out their character's name.
I love it. I literally, when you messaged me, I was like, no.
Oh no, I knew it was supposed to be a secret, which is why I privately messaged you it. But like, I just happened to put two and two together, and it just kind of did like the sing song in my head, and I was like, hold up. I have a place where that's gonna come up, but I'm waiting to see if someone else says it. The thing is that you figured it out literally right before we were about to record for the first episode. Mm-hmm. And it was like, we can't say it now. Like, we can't. I know. Well, and the thing is like, Zara doesn't know anything about it either, so she's not gonna bring it up.
So I'm waiting to see. I feel like it's either gonna be Max's character or Amancio's character that figures it out. If Ren's character is the one that brings it up, I will be overjoyed. I don't know how in character that would be, but I would be over the moon if that's the one that figured it out.
Yeah, it would be quite interesting.
But yeah, and then we have art. Of course, every season we get some really awesome art. What was the process like for you? Especially because, like, no one was allowed... What was the process like? Because you didn't have to deal with anyone.
Yeah, so actually, the process for me was extremely easy because basically, like, I created the characters, so I created what they got to look like. And being able to draw a little bit myself, I was able to kind of get like a general idea down. And I just literally had to find an artist and just be like, hey, like, this is my idea. Are you able to just like do your thing, make it a little bit fancy, and throw it in your style? And so, yeah, it was it was super easy. I'm not looking forward to next season.
Oh, you'll get my pain. But yeah, you also said you can draw a little bit. That's a full lie. You draw really well. Like, really well. And we still need to do our art swap at some point. We keep talking about it.
We do.
But yeah, no, you draw really well. But yeah.
Aw, thank you.
Our Cosmos was a process and a half. Because it was it was already like we had to sit down and like discuss it as players beforehand to figure out how we were going to make these like characters from like mix match all over the place, somehow coordinate and look good together. But also the person we originally reached out to turned around and was like, yeah, no, I don't do that kind of art. And I was like, what? What? But you said you did. So like it was like summer and we're like, oh my god, we're supposed to have this done already. And my friend Megan pulled through. Megan, Megalos. Oh my god. Megan goes to school for like illustration and like graphic design and like marketing and all that. So, she knows what she's doing. And I was like on call, like freaking out about what had happened. And she was like, I could do it. I was like, really? I could do it. But I think it worked out for the best. Because honestly, like it looks so good. I'm so happy with everyone's art. I love like how it all looks.
It turned out so well.
It's so good. And we got so much more than we would have. Like, Megan went above and beyond.
Yeah.
She's 1,000% like, she's never told me any of her grades, but I 1,000% get the impression that, like, she is a tryhard and puts all her effort into everything, considering how much extra work she does.
Yeah.
So, I was very, very happy to have that and have Megan's help on that. As well as, so we don't just have art this season. We have
music.
I don't know, do you want to tell the story about how we met them or do you want me to?
Oh gosh, do I even remember? Yeah, so we were at Fan Expo and we had kind of passed by the table and I think we were like talking about our D&D podcast at the table next to the table that we got our music from. And so we had kind of wandered off and the gentleman, who is wonderful, you'll have to remind me of his name because I am drawing blanks right now.
Tori Doctor.
Tori. Yes. So he comes running after us, tracking us down in the middle of a convention and is just like, we need to talk because you need to know about us because we need to know a little bit more about you. So I think we stood there for like almost a good hour chatting with Tori about the podcast and like kind of, our interest in maybe having an opening theme. And and then we kind of made an executive decision in order to get that done. So we've been working very, very closely with them. And you got a part with them.
Yeah, I mean, you were mostly talking with Tori when we got to the table. I was like, just so excited. Mel was like showing me all the things they were doing. Love Melody. Absolute sweetheart. her darling. I should say darling. But yeah, no, like we were like geeking over all the music, and that's like I got really interested in all of it because I mean, I love that stuff, and Melody is a phenomenal singer. Oh my gosh. It's really awesome when you get to talk to people that know what you're talking about when it comes to music. But yeah, so like we got like on a call with them. So
Yeah.
we sat down and we started talking about like what we wanted. I was making notes during our call and like made sure I had them when we were talking to Tori and Melody. And they came up with some really, really awesome ideas. So for the intro, because we have an official FeyFinders intro, and we have a specific theme for each campaign that the intro transitions into. And it's just, oh my God, I love them so much. My idea was
They nailed them.
Late 60s, early 70s rock mixed with Space Mountain from Disneyland. That was what was going through my brain.
Yep, that about sums it up. That's for sure.
What about you?
Mine was actually kind of like heavily inspired by Near Automata, like kind of more that kind of creepy tinkling melody undertone. Not so much like just something that kind of catches your interest but makes you guessing and wanting more.
Very spooky. It's very spooky.
I think they did an incredible job capturing our visions.
The composer is Nico Rhodes. By the way, the company is Off the Beaten Path.
Yes, and highly recommend checking them out.
If you yourself are wanting to get custom music, or you want to watch from the comfort of your own home a fantasy musical, go to obpmusical.com. And yeah, there's normally, I think it's like every other Monday, or there's a show. So there's Stories of Arillis, there's Chronicles of Dar. Yeah, it's a good time. Now, time to talk. Give a little intro for our campaigns. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first. So basically, Amnesia is set in my own world of Jetalu. As stated previously, our players wake up with no memories. So basically, something led them down into this deep, dark cavern, which is where they woke up. And something has messed with their memories. So they have to figure out who they are, what their stats are, as well as what kind of twisted fate they have all been a part of this whole time and what they are to do or finish. So it's a little bit of trying to find yourself, reclaim yourself, as well as a little bit of mystery and fun twisted in. So it's going to be interesting to see if our players are willing to continue what they started once they find out exactly what it is that they were set to do before everything happened, as well as what led them up to that point.
I have to say, as someone that's already listened to the first episode of it, and I listened to it live. It was amazing. It's so good. It's like, I was like, ooh, spicy! The whole time. It's really good. Like, I can't say enough, Kai, how good it is.
I'm so glad you like it.
I love it. I really love it.
And it only gets spicier from there.
I need to catch up. It's just like all of, I had Wednesday night classes, and that's when you guys were recording. And I'd just be sitting there, and I'm like, I'm learning nothing, but I need participation.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. Hopefully, maybe I don't have Wednesday night classes. when you guys record again. But yes, so Cosmos. Now, in comparison to Amnesia, Cosmos is unbridled chaos. It is, there is a world full of worlds, multiverses on multiverses. There are just so many places and so many dimensions to explore. And 5 of these universes within the multiverse are aware of each other and have created an organization to make sure no funny business happens. So they're kind of making sure things remain peaceful, nothing gets too crazy, like dimension traveling pirates or, teenagers who are ending the world. They might step in, except the people who do step in have gone missing. Oh no! So that's where our players come in. You guys are figuring out what's going on, and it's very fun having characters. Like, I let you guys just go crazy with whatever you guys wanted to do with your characters, because you're all from your different universes. So it really doesn't matter. You just have a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's genuinely the most chaotic group I've ever DM'd for. Like, I
do not doubt that.
Ollie has gotten to, see my facial expressions throughout all of this, and I'm just, slowly dying every time, but it's so good, because when I brought a specific character in, it's just, fate has twisted. Really, the last episode we recorded, I stomped out some lights, which I was really excited for. But yeah, it's a space fantasy. There's ships, there's tech, there's gods. Maybe there's no gods. Maybe there's no magic. It's just really endless possibilities, and I love it. But yeah, so that is season 3 of FeyFinders. The schedule coming up is quite a schedule. So episodes are only coming out. They are coming out twice a month. The beginning of the month is going to be for Cosmos. So the end of the first week, except for January. January we have all the advertising and stuff. But generally, the first weekend of January will be for Cosmos, and the third weekend will be for Amnesia. There we go. But January, so our January schedule is, this is the, hopefully we follow this schedule, but this is
hopefully
supposed to be the schedule. But January 1st.
I think we should be okay.
We should be fine. January 1st is the Cosmos trailer release. From January 2nd to 7th, there will be promotional content for Cosmos. January 8th is the first episode of Cosmos. The 15th of January is the Amnesia trailer. January 16th to 20th is promotional content for Amnesia. And January 22nd is Amnesia Episode 1.
Exciting.
Very excited. So excited. Episodes should be coming out regularly on Sundays. For the weeks I described. We're doing this because we need to take a step back. We wanted to explore more things. We have a lot coming up. Season 4 is already in the works. Won't say more than that.
That's going to be fun.
But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of take a step back. I wanted to take a step back. I want to let other people get a chance and also give myself a break. So yeah, there's a lot coming from us over the next year and a bit. But yeah, these are going to be short campaigns. They're not going to be 36 episodes long. We're capping them at 15. Probably 12 around there for each. That's the hope. I think Cosmos is going to end in 12 or 13 by the way that you guys are like booking it through the story. So,
I think Amnesia might push the 15, but I am aiming for 12.
Okay. That just means you take over my Sundays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then we have stuff planned for after that. So there's a lot of stuff coming from us. But we just wanted to sit down and let you guys know what was going on. And thank you so much for all the support that we got from Island. Island, there was literally one day, I think it was in like September or October, where we looked at the analytics and we were like, what's going on?
Oh, I remember that conversation very well.
I was like trying to figure it out. But yeah, so thank you so much.
It was amazing.
Thank you so much for all the support. And we are going to end it there. Bye.
Bye.